Good evening, lovely people of Ghana, and welcome to Chamber Diaries. We missed you, and I know you missed us too. This is our first edition for 2022, and as you know, we are the hub for parliamentary accounts, right from the Chamber of Parliament. Now the headlines for tonight. Justice for Ghana Group hits Parliament with a demonstration against the E-LEVY. Deputy Minority Chief Whip Honorable Ahmed assures Ghanaians on the stance of minority on the E-LEVY bill. Speaker addresses the House for the first time on the first meeting of the second session of the 8th Parliament of Ghana. Minister for Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Jinapor, gives a recount on the tragic event which occurred in Apeatse.
So I've just made a statement on the floor of Parliament about the unfortunate tragic incidents which took place at Apeatse in the western region of our country. And indeed, what I've reported to the Parliament is that out of this incident, President Akufo-Addo himself has been coordinating government efforts and government intervention, and clearly from the evidence and from the interventions which have been made already, that emergency response and relief response has been swift and robust. The events took place on the 20th of this month, Thursday, and immediately the President was chairing a cabinet meeting, but he stepped out to begin the initial coordination of government efforts. And as many of us have seen, relief items were sent almost immediately. The following day, the Vice President led a high-powered government delegation made up of the Ministers of Lands and Natural Resources, Interior and Information to commensurate with the victims and the people of Apeatse. Thereafter, we have taken some very far-reaching steps by suspending the operations of Maxam Company Limited, which is the company at the center of the manufacture of these explosives, as well as Jesidek Ghana Limited, which is the company which was responsible for the transportation of the explosives. We have also interdicted the Chief Inspector of Mines so that investigations which are being conducted will be credible and will be done in accordance with the highest standards of integrity. So, ladies and gentlemen of the press, what I want to say to you is that government is fully on top of this matter. Government is fully on top of this situation. And the President has made a commitment. And the commitment is that government is going to mobilize all the resources to support the victims and, more importantly, to reconstruct the Apeatse community and build a modern community for the people of Apeatse. And indeed, today, on the instructions of President Akufo-Addo, I inaugurated a 5-member committee to oversee the Apeatse Support Fund. We've launched the Apeatse Support Fund, which is a fund where we are going to call on Ghanaians, residents of Ghana and friends of Ghana to contribute to this fund for us to be able to raise the necessary funding to rebuild the community for the people of Apeatse. The committee is chaired by Reverend Dr. Joyce Ayi, whom we all know is a renowned, distinguished stateswoman of our country, with 4 other distinguished citizens of our country. And it's our hope and belief that this committee will work together to be able to raise the necessary funding for us to be able to reconstruct it. Finally, I should say that when these matters happen, there is also the need for the broader interrogation, the broader examination, so that we can learn the useful lessons out of the industry, the larger picture. What are the loopholes? Where do we have to tighten? The legal regime, is it sufficient? The policy regime, is it sufficient? And God willing, next week, we're going to inaugurate a ministerial committee of technocrats who are going to conduct an inquiry, not just an inquiry into this incident, but an inquiry into the whole gamut of health and safety of mining in Ghana. And not just explosives, everything to do with health and safety of mining, so that out of that we can have recommendations which will be implemented and to make our country a safe and healthy destination for mining. So I thank you very much and we commend the President and his government for this swift and robust action and coming on top of this particular situation. I take two questions.
The government, and for that matter yourself, you've been commended for the swift nature of the decisions you've taken.
Nonetheless, on the floor of Parliament, the minority leader discussed some of these actions as knee-jerk and that interdictions knee-jerk. How do you respond to this? Well, totally premature comment, and I'm not too sure why the minority leader would take that point. And I want Ghanaians, ordinary Ghanaians, yourself, media people, to examine the situation and make your own judgment. If you were the minister and an incident of this nature occurs, the companies, the entities who are the center of the incident, company is manufacturing explosives, another company exports, another company transports those explosives. An incident has happened. In a matter of 2 or 3 days, you have not been able to assemble the initial basic preliminary facts. You've not been able to do that. The reasonable thing to do and the prudent thing to do is to suspend the operations of these companies, because if there are some loopholes, if the protocols are not watertight, and tomorrow it is reported that this same company in transporting another set of explosives have had those explosives detonated and it's caused explosion and caused harm, what will be your own sense of how government is acting? I think government will be seen to have been irresponsible. So anywhere in the world, when matters like this happen, in America, when there was oil spill by a company, and several other places, when these tragic events happen, the first prudent, immediate step that a policymaker ought to do is to put a hold on the operations of that company. It's common sense, actually.
That's what you need. They need it. They need him in the chamber. So
yes, my deputy will take over.
The deputy will take over.
In some of these systems, the companies are insured. So you don't understand why government would want to provide the company should do for the incident. How do you respond to that?
Yes, but immediately is the duty of government to come to the aid of its citizens. Yes, the companies are insured, but ask yourself, should it take them 48 hours or whatever for them to gather their insurance companies to also furnish them something to come to the aid of our own people? No, government's duty is to its citizens, so there's nothing wrong with government taking the lead.
They are talking about reconstruction of the destroyed houses, and that is something that will be left to insurance to take care of, not the taxpayers. How do you respond to it?
We are saying that a fund has been set up, and that fund, among people who will be donating, can be these same companies, can be well-wishers, and not only government. So I think it's on the right course.
Now, for the purpose of crime, how much is government committed as government of the state committed to?
Please, it's early days yet.
So the government is not committed any finance?
It's early days yet.
All right.
The Right Honourable Speaker of Parliament, Alban Bagbin, addressed the House and welcomed the House officially on the first meeting of the second session. He encouraged members of Parliament to pay strict adherence to the rules, codes of conduct and ethics of Parliament. He also encouraged the MPs to be decently adorned in native costumes for sittings while they transform Ghana.
Abusiafo sene yenemu kano Right Honourable Speaker Alban Kingsford Sumana Babin. Ene otumi epie abankese mu na obia aye obia mama efise ohwe ne dress na otumi ede ba na edamu ye papa na otumi se ekasa efise Ghana ya mamre ene ya mane etumi ekasa nti owura mrahye bedwamu na obia etumi hu se ene asem bi wo ho no ma etwa se yani etumi ekoso na yeka na advice a otumi ede eba ye no ode afutuo etumi ekoma mrahye bedwafo nyina na asem a na oka nyina ni se ye nyina ye hwe ye kasa mu ye sene ye di enkoma ye betumi ahwe na ya ma ye kasa etumi eho ate na osanso ewe kamo members ede etumi ebae efise parliament eko na homgye mu no ene di kan a ene parliament etumi atenase eti emrahye bedwamu ensem a etumi eko so ebi eni na yesanso ekomu bie mu no ne nsem bia otumi ekan ne se eye dressing a ekoso ewo Ghana ase ye yakofa broni die no ye nhwe na ye ntumi enstikitu ya mamre ene ya mane eti ohye emrahye bedwafo nyina kutu pase obi biara entimi endresse Ghana ye dressing se ye did ye aduane mu Ghana aduane na ye ndi se sebi bibia ye biane ye mane enye Ghana na yenso asem kakra yenso ye beka ne se ene se omo pese omo ekohwe ayaresam a ene omo so Ghana ha ya ayaresa papa wa ha enti akakra yentumi ebeti eka ede afri eho enso eno no enti se ne ensem na esi ekọ no saa ene ensem ya ye pese ye de eto manimo
Ghanaians. The results of the 2020 elections brought a new order of political engagement. In effect, the character and norms of the power game changed, especially in Parliament. The ultra-majoritarian rule, where the majority party marshals its numerical strength to back the president's policy or program, leaving space for dialogue, compromise, and consensus building, is no more. The outcome of the elections signifies two things. First, a rejection of the practice of blind, unbridled, and excessive partisanship in politics. The winner-take-all option. That is a significant change. And two, the blind partisan opposition and obstruction of government policy. That too, Yamutu. The preference, according to Ghanaians, for dialogue, cooperation, consultation, compromise, and consensus building. The clarion call of our dear nation today is now Ghana first, everything else second. Not party first. Not government first, not opposition first, not speaker first, but Ghana first. Honorable members, the product of a ham parliament marks a clear departure from the mantle, I quote, "Let the minority have its way, let the minority have its say, and the majority its way." Honorable members, I'm watching those of you who have decided to constitute yourselves into groups to converse and listen to the speaker. Honorable members, this house is meant for serious business. I believe in ultimate responsibility. And even though all these things that happened, I was not on the chair. Those who were on the chair were only exercising delegated authority. The ultimate person responsible is me, the speaker, and I take responsibility. That is why earlier on I kept on apologizing to the good people of Ghana. With that ultimate responsibility, I will not only be using the carrot, I'll also be cracking the whip. Honorable members, democracy has long gone beyond majority rule to participatory and inclusive governance. A type of governance where both the majority and minority will have their say, but the national interest will have its way. I think Ghanaians are right to move along with this improved system of governance. And I believe that is the future of democratic governance in the world. In fact, this decision gave Ghana a pride of place in the celebration to mark the 60th anniversary of diplomatic relations with Denmark. I had the singular honor to participate in a global panel discussion on the topic, inclusive party governance and the future of democracy as part of the celebration. The commendation was taken during that virtual discussion, and Ghana was highly pleased. Let us don't belittle that achievement. Neither should we blot the shine that the people have bestowed on this country. Honorable members, we should not also forget that this is in tune with the spirit and letter of the 1992 Constitution. The 1992 Constitution creates an opportunity for either a majority or a minority government, or even an opportunity for an independent president to rule this country. And so if you are going by majority rule and you elect an independent president.
And now the details. Before parliamentary proceedings, the Deputy Minority Whip, Honorable Adam Ibrahim, had a press conference about E-LEVY controversy and assured Ghanaians the minority will resist the passage of the bill to ease the burden of Ghanaians.
Ensama minua etimi eka nyina ne se sene na yesi ebo na aposo etwemu no ne ntwetwemu no nyina etwe se Honorable Ahmed Ibrahim ne nsema ene otumi ekatwe press no ne nsema no oka nyina ne se wohwe E-LEVY ho nsensem a eba ye ansa na parliament etimi ko na homi jemu na otumu se ensem bi wo ho no ma antwaye na omo no minority ne de se ne omutumi ehye Ghana for bo se omo de omo na ebesi fom na omatumi ahwese yebetimi ayi sa E-LEVY na free budget na ma Ghana for ho atimi ato mo no wo de sa ensem etumi atudwa otoko so etumi eka se wohwe E-LEVY ya ebe ya omutumi ema government kwan ema government etimi increase enema about 15% ewo enema bi so etumi bo aban no na se wohwe E-LEVY ya sika ombenya free ma sebi enye sika bia o se aban na etimi di nani etumi ekoso bebre enti otumi assure Ghana for nyina se obia enya akomapa na ne abotoyem na ombe make sure se sa E-LEVY we entumi empase na ma Ghana for ho atom.
They are incorporating those amendments in the bill to represent it. But as for the figures, it's when they go and consult Ghanaians, whatever Ghanaians will tell them, whatever the political parties will tell them, whatever the minority and the majority parties will tell them, then they will incorporate those inputs and represent the bill next week. The question is, why now? So if you knew you could do this, why didn't you listen? Is it because we are NDC? We told you, you refused. You made us fight, disgrace ourselves. Then you are now buy into what we told you. Oh, without passing the E-LEVY, Ghana will collapse. Has Ghana collapsed? Are we not still in Ghana? Is the budget not operating? We gave you increment of 15% on all government revenues. But you are not telling Ghanaians that. We gave you the power to go and collect property rate on every house in Ghana. You are not telling Ghanaians that. There's increment in the government revenue that is expected to be collected. The E-LEVY is just 6.9 billion. The total revenue budget that we approved for you was 105 billion. So 105 billion minus 6.9, you still have 98 billion to run this country. If you cannot run Ghana with 98 billion and you think that 7 billion is your problem, then you have to go and ask your economic master again.
After the consultation, would the minority change its position, its resistance?
Oh, you are going to be consulted. You don't know the kind of consultation they are bringing. So how do I be jumping the gun? They are coming to consult me. They've listened to my superior advice in the first place to consult. They are coming and there are other superior advices that I will give. So I don't have to jump into conclusion. If I jump into conclusion and take an entrenched position, then what is the essence of the consultation?
But it's possible you might change it because from the word go, your position has been that no E-LEVY.
No, we said no E-LEVY. They said E-LEVY. Our position was zero tolerance to E-LEVY.
It still stands so.
They are, yes, so long as the 1.75 is there, we still stand there. They are at 1.75 E-LEVY. We are at zero tolerance. And they say, let's engage. Anything at all can come out from the engagement. And that is what democracy stands for. In democracy, you cannot say, I will not avail myself for engagement. There are two things, engagement and accountability. As I speak to you, there are so many things that we are unable to do in this house, which eroded the image of Ghana's parliament. Do you remember that the 4-year debt stock debate that was debated in this house, we couldn't even conclude on that. We sat here for World Bank, Fish, and IMF to be downgrading Ghana using the debt stock. If we had concluded the debate and pointed out to finance, look, where our debt is now becoming unsustainable, let's take decision on this and this. We couldn't do that. It is still hanging there. And we are still borrowing, only for a World Bank to pay. So why are we paid for? What is the essence of Parliament? Parliament is to put the executive on its toes. So if you think that whatever you bring because you are executive, we should let it go, then close Parliament and be doing whatever you want. But you can't put us there. And when you bring something and it is not good, then we tell you this thing is not good. Then you say, no, once you have brought it, we should pass it. No, that is not Parliament. And if you look at it, all the red flags that we raise, and they refuse, and when they have to pass the budget, which of them have they been able to implement it? Nothing. Have they been able to implement, have they implemented the property rate? Have they implemented the benchmark values? Have they implemented the E-LEVY? Have they? A lot of them.
The majority leader says the E-LEVY has technically been passed.
Oh, majority leader, you know, sometimes he dreams because he's sleeping in government bungalow. You cannot be dreaming. If it has been passed, then what are they engaging us for? They should start implementation. Implement it. You can't be dreaming, oh, the E-LEVY has technical. He is the problem to the government. Really? And the government should self-examine itself. He's the problem. You see, when you are a leader, you should lead with the understanding of the group you are leading. The parliament is not just one-sided parliament. And it is the conscience of the nation in Ghana now is the minority. But for this minority, there would have been nationwide demonstration and strike like happened in New Cobra Bonny time. But Ghanaians are so lucky they have a responsible minority who are able to question government and put government on its toes. That is why people are not demonstrating. So don't take it for granted that, oh, because minority are debating in parliament and people are bringing superior arguments, oh, then, no. The most unpopular, I'm just coming from my constituency. The way people thanked me and appreciated the opposition for not allowing the E-LEVY to pass through, even including majority. And I was surprised when a former MPP constituency executive called me last week. Honorable, the minority this trimester and semester issue. And I said, now you see that now you are also speaking. Ghanaians are now awakening politically. It is not, we must take economic decisions rather than all political decisions. Put all the political decisions that Nanadu brought on the radar. All of them have collapsed. He is not even able to sustain his own policies. because they were politically conceived and politically driven without even taking through. Should we pursue this E-levy the same way? No. We raised the banking capital, collapsed some banks. We raised the capital for microfinance, collapsed some microfinances. We raised taxes, collapsed most businesses. Now we are bringing E-levy to collapse the digital space that even some of those things are operating. Then we are saying we are going to raise the same thing for insurance to collapse the rest of the insurance. Can data bank and enterprise insurance alone take care of Ghana? No. Nanadu government should re-examine his players very well. If there's injury on the finance ministry, change him. If there's injury on your leader of the house, change him. Don't just be accusing speaker and be accusing minority for nothing that we have done. And all that we have put to you, now you are engaging on benchmark values, it has been passed for you. It is not implementable. Why now? You are engaging on E-levy. You say it has been passed. It is not implementable. Why now? Even the telcos themselves do not understand how the E-levy is going to be implemented. And you say we should pass in a certificate of urgency? We are on a democratic dispensation. You government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Not government by the people, for the people, by the... No.
Thank you, sir.
Do take all the adjectives and the conjunctions.
Sir.
What brings you here this morning? You've seen your people around. Can you tell us why you're here today?
I think you are also part of us, so you are part of our people. Because the pickpocket tax, take note, pickpocket tax, that President Akufo-Addo has described as electronic transactions levy, is going to impose hardship on us. So much that when you have paid your taxes in these recent times, contractors are going to be affected because contractors are paid through a process they call the gift mix. And so transactions will come through. And so when their money is going, they will pay tax. You, most of you, you earn your salaries nowadays through electronic transactions. Even as you have been deducted all your taxes, the payee and all the taxes that you have to pay to government. Now when you have to also now take your own money, you are going to pay further. If you have to send transactions to your relatives or relations, your parents who are at home, you have to pay taxes. And if they are going to withdraw the money, they will pay further 1.75%. That is pickpocketing. That is not a tax. And so the government of Ghana is perfecting in its way of stealing from the people of Ghana. And we say that if after all the resources that you have, it is not sufficient for you to deliver development, don't come and be the pickpocket and deny the citizens their place of right. And that is why we are here, to picket before our members of parliament for them to know that the struggles that they have in parliament cannot be considered as just the members of parliament, and that citizens are also opposed to it. And we notified the Ghana Police Service that we are going to occupy parliament on the 25th, 26th, and the 27th. This is not the House of Parliament. We say Parliament House. Look at where the police have blocked us. So the police have become lawless. They are supposed to maintain order, but they are now maintaining disorder. Because we notified you, we have notified the leadership of Parliament that we are coming to occupy Parliament House. And you come and block us, denying us to enter Parliament. So this is not what we bargained for. This is not the notification that we sent to the Ghana Police. And I think that is unfortunate. If they begin to deny citizens our rights and our freedoms, we have no option than to become violent. We are a peaceful people. But you see, no peaceful person, when pushed to the wall, will continue to remain at the wall. You will be forced to come back. And once you're forced to come back, it means that there's going to be pressure on the system. So let everybody know that just as we want to have peace in this nation, we want to ensure serenity. President Akufo-Addo recently said that they were introducing a semesterial system in our educational system. When they said they were not consulted and that the system was not going to be beneficial, they withdrew the semester and reintroduced the trimester system. When President Akufo-Addo and others joined in 1995 and we protested the value-added tax, the introduction of the value-added tax, which was a replacement of the sales and service tax at the time. The government of Jerry John Rawlings withdrew the tax and went on consultation for 3 years until the people of Ghana accepted it before the value-added tax was introduced. If the people of Ghana and even Parliament, for the first time in our history, can engage in fiscops, what it means is that something is not right. Let President Akufo-Addo not overpush his luck on matters like this. Because when you overpush to a certain limit, it can bend.
So what other steps are you going to take to drum home your concerns?
We have started the picketing. Majority of people didn't know that we are starting. Tomorrow we'll continue. We'll continue tomorrow next. And any day that we are informed that there is going to be the E-LEVY on the order paper, we shall organize ourselves in mass numbers.
I'd want to find out, with the police issue, have you been informed why they are blocking you from entering the parliament?
Well, I think that the regional police are here. I can see Freeman, I can see Asante, that's the Greater Accra Operations Officer. You can find out why they have decided to become so lawless, why they have decided to maintain disorder instead of order, because the notification to them is Occupy Parliament House. So they are here, ask them.
But you've not been told anything?
We have not been told. When I got here at 8:30, I asked them, why have you locked every other person? Even MPs are not allowed to use the main entrance to Parliament House. Why? Simply because we are coming here. We are not carrying anything, as you can see. The only thing I'm wearing is my beret. So why would anybody be intimidated by the fact that citizens are coming to our representatives?
So the last time you had a protest, that was on December 8th, a lot of people were worried about the numbers. Do you think that this is still going to drum home your demands? Because we expect that when you want to picket or
many
protest,
people have done one-man demonstrations. People have gone on hunger strikes individually in order to drum home the fact that things must be worked. People were beheaded because they stood for some things, and today we have all been beneficiaries. Copernicus was beheaded because he said the world was round and not flat. Then the Pope said the world was flat. They beheaded him. Today, science has proved that the world is round. It doesn't matter the numbers we have. What matters is the message. And we can tell you our message is potent. There are many people who are selling their tomatoes, perishable goods. They cannot leave their perishable commodities and come and join the demonstration. It doesn't mean that they don't support the cause. There are people who are trying to drive their Uber and taxis, trotros, in order to eke out a living. They will not stop to come and join us, but they can tell you that they sympathize and support the cause that we are fighting. And even you are here. You are not wearing beret, but I'm sure that you agree in total with the fact that E-LEVY is inimical to your pocket.
Abusuafo yedamasi ene ensema emhye bedwafie yetumi ekọ ya yetumi ekọboaboa no na yede ababeto mu anim no sene yetumi akyekyere mu nyina no emfonini a ebetumi atoa yen kasa yi so misrofo wani edi akire me ankasa me program manager me cameraman a ogina akire se bibia ebetumi akoye Chris Barnes obo adwuma yie papa onyankopon enhura no ewo ne dwumadi a odi ede amayen menua paka me pacho sa ensemi na yetumi ede ama Ghana fo se bibia eni ho biemu dia ende megyae bibia atumi ahye wonsa we ni ensema yetumi ede abre inatiefo ene adofo mesa so kai wo se Vibe Media TV na waso egusu ene wani egusu a o hwe no ye pato subscribe to the channel pia share ne so na obi e wo ba bia ontumi enya bi na onhwe na bibia so ayede betum no so watumi enya notification no na bibia atumi akoso totin. Thank you very much, Madam Parker. This is what I have presented, and if you have something I believe we can call it a day.
Thank you very much, lovely viewers, for watching. Thanks for your time. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos. Thank you, my producer, Chris Barnes. Thank you, Sadiq, for this beautiful, lovely coat I'm wearing. And thank you once again for watching. We'll see you next time, same time.